I am 14 years old. I have 330,000 followers on TikTok. I'm not trying to be arrogant. My age is on the internet.
I was getting really uncomfortable, so I told him my age. I told him I'm 16. Meanwhile, he's 21. He's a grown man.
I told him in a long text message that I am straight.
Are people trying to get you still? I've seen some TikToks about dudes baiting you.
Every once in a while, yeah. But I feel like now it doesn't work anymore because all the comments like you're so fucking stupid. Like every time people
it's also just like
it's pathetic.
It's fucked up.
After everything that happened last year and me having to like get in front of millions of people and prove that I wasn't a fucking sexual predator, like that kind of helped my narrative, my case. Now, like when people do try to do that, everyone's like, "You're so fucked." Like cut it out. Like,
I've just seen a lot of these red flags earlier, and I'm honestly kind of disappointed in myself for not seeing them earlier. And I'm sure James Charles is not going to want to see all this stuff that's in this video. I feel like there's a few things that people haven't really talked about yet in regards to this. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here and you didn't know already, my name is Tara and thank you so much for being here. And if you like commentary deep dives and you like my vibe, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell down below so you don't miss on any of my new uploads. I'm trying to film this video and I finally got around to being able to film it, and then my ring light like fell down on me and it hit all my knuckles and hit me in the head, but I'm determined to get this video done today. These are also just my opinions. These are my opinions. These are not facts. This is stuff that I'm talking about on the internet that is going on, and just some things that I think that we just need to all look at, behaviors and things that I haven't seen anybody discuss in regards to James Charles. I do want to say before I get into this video, please do not send anyone in this video mentioned any hate or harassment. I do not condone that in any way, shape, or form. I also want to say that these are all accusations. Nothing has been proven. And I also want to say that if you are someone who has been sought after by anyone who is older and you are a minor, please go to the police. Don't just put it on the internet. I went live when the news first broke out about James Charles being accused once again, this time by a 16-year-old named Isaiah. There has also been another boy who has come forward as well, so we will also talk about that. I also want to talk about a few other clips from podcasts that James has been in, videos he's made. I want to talk about his No More Lies videos and some weird things that I noticed in that video. Other red flags that I feel like a lot of us should have picked up on but didn't. If you didn't know, which I'm sure you do know because everybody's talking about it right now on YouTube, even though I do feel like the YouTube algorithm is suppressing videos about this, a 16-year-old named Isaiah did come forward stating that he was pursued by James. Isaiah came through with not only receipts that James was pursuing him with video, he also showed screenshots and video evidence of the nudes that James Charles had sent him. I will insert that video here from Isaiah.
Warning, I will be talking about grooming and James Charles, so if you get triggered by any of those, keep scrolling, but if not, watch this video, please. So last Wednesday on the 17th, James Charles snapped me on Snapchat. He added me back because I had snapped him a while ago, just like a fan to influencer conversation. I was excited because he's my biggest influencer-wise, and I've always looked up to him, so I was excited to get his message back. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to post proof of it right now. This is the notification that I got when he Snapchatted me first. And just for further proof, he deleted the chat. I don't know what he deleted, but that's me opening his Snapchat. I went into the bathroom, and I guess he saw the bathroom light, so he started making the conversation very sexual, and it made me really uncomfortable. And I'll post some of the stuff that he sent me now. You can't see it because it's blurry, because I took it on my iPad, because I don't want him to see that I screenshotted it, but I'll post it right now. He proceeded to send me explicit pictures of his body. More in part 2. This is part 2 of the James Charles story. So after sending me that first picture of his body, explicitly, he sent me multiple after that, and I'll post them now. I was getting really uncomfortable, so I told him my age. I told him I'm 16. Meanwhile, he's 21. He's a grown man. And then he proceeds to say, oh, but I didn't even get to see meaning my body. And after telling him, like, no, like, I'm not going to send it to you, he kept on asking for pictures and videos of body hair and me flexing and stuff. He proceeded to ask to FaceTime me, which I then said no to, and then I asked why. And this is what he said. It's sad to say that I can't even look up my biggest influence the same again. I've heard multiple stories about him doing this to people, but you never believe it until it happens to you. So now I'm a big believer of what James Charles does to other people, and it sucks because he has so much going for him, and he does this to himself.
Isaiah goes on to say in that video, as you guys saw, that he was very uncomfortable by James Charles. He does say that he told James Charles that he was only 16 years old, but James continued to pursue him. James did come out with a statement, and I will put that on the screen for you guys to look at, and you can pause to read it. James did try to say that the kid lied and said he was 18. There has been screenshot proof and proof on Isaiah's TikTok and on his Instagram that it's been out, and it is out there that Isaiah is 16. His birthday is public knowledge, and knowing James, you would think that James would thoroughly vet the people that he's sending nudes to. And even if the kid did lie about his age, it still doesn't make it okay. It's still illegal. And my whole thing is, why is James sending pictures of himself nude to his fans? I don't care what age they are. There's a power dynamic there, and it doesn't make it okay. If this was anybody else, people would be flipping their you-know-what. In James' statement, he basically went on to say that he will now, moving forward, have people give him a copy of their ID or passport. Started getting suspicious of the kid's age after some things made him question it. I don't understand what that means, but okay. James says in the statement that he found the kid through his Instagram Explore page. The next morning, he says that he woke up to several snaps from this person. James Charles says in his statement that Isaiah sent him nude or lewd photos. That's when I would have hit block, y'all. I would have been like, block this kid. Even if he said he was 18. Again, he's a fan. James, because he thought he was 18, started flirting back. And this line really kind of made me cringe. James said in the statement, "In the excitement of meeting someone I thought could be potentially great, I didn't ask for a copy of his ID or passport." Okay. James says that Isaiah claimed it could be their little secret. I want to take things a little bit back. I want to talk about some stuff that, you know, has happened in the past, just certain red flags. And, you know, the boy came forward that was 14 about 6 months ago, and his name was Evan Andrews.
I kept referring throughout this video off and on Ethan Andrews to Evan Andrews. I don't know why I kept doing this, but I kept doing it. So every time I say Evan, I mean Ethan.
He went forward, made a video saying that he had interactions with James Charles that were not appropriate. And a lot of people went for that kid and dogpiled on him. I'm going to insert a clip from his video that he filmed with his friend, just talking about a few things. I did find a re-upload of this video because he had taken his video down. I wanted to say really quickly before I play this clip of Ethan, this is a re-upload of his original video. So this is a re-upload of somebody not believing his story. So all the texts, like making fun of him, are not from me. These are from the re-uploader, and I'll link the video down below if you're interested.
My friend was like, yo, like, I bet you want to DM him. And I wasn't thinking anything of it. I said, all right, bet, I'm going to DM him. So I DM him, and I guess the next day he responds, and he tells me, why do you keep texting me? And I was like, what? I was like, I don't keep texting you. Like, what are you talking about? And he just kind of ignores the subject because I sent him like a picture back of me, and I guess, I don't know, he finds me attractive or whatever. I don't know what he was hiding in his brain going on. He asked me what my age was, and I told him I was 14 years old, and he told me I was very young. And I said, yeah, and he said, add me on Snapchat because I feel more comfortable talking on there. And so I said, okay, like, let's do it, like, bet. And me not knowing anything, like, I just think that's cool, like, James Charles, like, 18, 17 million followers, like, once you add him on Snap, like, not even in a clout way, like, I'm saying, like, that's dope, like, an influencer, like, everybody knows who he is pretty much, like, that's awesome. And so I just thought it was cool, and he just started getting a little too comfortable with me and just pushing it over the limits, knowing I was underage. And I started talking to him about it, and he didn't really believe it until he saw it with his own eyes, James Charles being so pushy and just making me feel uncomfortable to the max. And I honestly, like, he was like, I guess he was trying to get me into thinking I was bisexual or gay, whatever y'all want to call it, but he was asking me to send him nudes, and he kept wanting me to go to LA, and he kept sending me nudes. He kept just sending me a picture back. I didn't respond. I just literally sent a picture back to me, and he would leave it on open and then snap me like a few hours later, sending me another picture of his like ass. You know, I'm just gonna say it, like, it made me feel super uncomfortable.
He has since left the internet because he got bullied so bad.
So to everybody saying, where's the receipts? I don't have the receipts. I have the receipts of him wanting to fly me out, though. I have the receipts of all of that. Okay, he was trying to flip it on me, saying that I said I was 18 years old. I didn't say I was 18 years old. Okay, he talked about me on Logan Paul's podcast and texted him asking if there was shade being thrown at me. You know what? He said no. He was talking about some Romanian boy, okay? First of all, it's crazy how that Romanian boy said everything I was saying to him, making all those excuses. I was uncomfortable. I didn't want to come see you alone.
Petty Page actually made a great video about all of the new stuff about Evan as well. When Evan came forward, a lot of people felt for James and felt like Evan did lie about his age. And, you know, they kind of forgave James and kind of gave James a pass. I found myself even giving James Charles a pass because we saw what happened with Bye Sister when Tati came forward. We knew that it affected James Charles' mental health. We know that, you know, James tried to vindicate himself as much as possible. We can all kind of understand that super fans will lie about their age. But in my opinion, that's when James should have kind of stopped talking to fans and should have stopped believing fans when they say that they're 18, because these fans will lie, these stans will lie just to be able to talk to their favorite. And even in Isaiah's video, he even said that he had heard other boys talking about, you know, the inappropriate behaviors with James Charles, but he didn't believe it until he became a part of it. And that's really sad. Also, where are these children's parents? I don't understand why these kids are just on the internet sending their nudes. Doesn't make it okay. You know, like, at the end of the day, these are children. And it is up to James Charles to be the adult and to do the right thing. And I just feel like he did not do the right thing, in my opinion. I also have to look back at some of James Charles's other behaviors where he has tried to come for straight boys and where he has tried to convince straight boys that they are bisexual. Just a lot of reoccurring behaviors. It's very Onision-like, in my opinion. Like I said in my live, when my friend first DM'd me about this dropping, I was like, oh, this is whatever, like James has been through this so many times. And then I looked into it and then I started thinking like, wow, this is a lot like the whole Onision thing, like talking to your fans, talking to underage fans. It's not appropriate. It's not okay. Even if this kid lied about his age, James, you're the adult. You're the one who should be knowing better than talking to your fans and sending nudes to your fans. It's just so gross, in my opinion. But for red flags, I wanted to talk about this because I feel like there's a lot of things that people aren't talking about. We all know the infamous voice memo that has been rumored to be around. We have Blair White, who has claimed to hear this voice memo that Jeffree Star has.
I felt like if you were going to call him a predator and promise that you had the receipts, you should have proven it and you should have provided those receipts and you shouldn't have tried to back out of it. I didn't feel that was right. He said, okay, I respect it, but do you want to know the truth? And this is the point where I wish I would have said no, in a way, but in a way not. He then provided me with receipts of a voice memo from a YouTuber who was allegedly sexually molested by James Charles. And it's credible. It's a YouTuber. It's credible. It is not my place to out this YouTuber's name at all.
Jeffree Star has gone on Mom's Basement and discussed this voice memo about James Charles allegedly assaulting another straight YouTuber.
James Charles, a danger to society. Is he a predator? Truth is that someone, and right now I legally can't say who, told us a few things. And we trusted that person's opinion. And then another person said some things that was friends with that man. And it really convinced us. Yeah, it's similar, but it's people that are in our community that are saying things. And I don't know if they're true or not. We can pause and I can go in another room and play Banks, what I have on my phone, and he can determine if he would have sent the same tweet. At the end of the day, I'm not going to out a victim of James Charles.
We know that this voice memo exists. We know this voice memo has been heard by several people behind the scenes. So again, you would just think that James Charles would be a little bit more careful. And again, it's that reoccurring behavior for me. James Charles went on this podcast with Logan Paul called the Impulsive Podcast, where he basically admitted that he's attracted to younger looking boys. He prefers 18, 19-year-old looking boys.
21, but like I said, I have the mentality of a 40-year-old. Yeah. So for me, like, I'm much more mentally and emotionally mature than a lot of people my age. I'm not physically attracted to older guys, which sucks. Like, I would date like the absolute youngest, like 18, 19 that looks a little bit older, or like 24 that like has a young personality. Okay. So like I'm in like a tough situation where like it's really hard for me to find people already that like want to date.
And you're a great partner.
I've talked to a lot of different guys that like that live in different states as well. This is a better example than just dinner. Like I've talked to guys that live in different states and stuff, and I'm like, hey, like why don't you come visit? Like, well, I can't afford a plane ticket. Yep. It's like, okay, well, I can. So like get on the plane. And like, well, I just don't really feel comfortable with that. But like I love you and I really want to be together. And I'm like, well, we can't be together because you can't afford a plane ticket. You're probably still in either high school or college. Like senior in high school or in college. Right. So like either you accept the flight and realize that like this is what I'm bringing to the relationship so we can spend time together if you actually care about me, or we literally never meet because you can't afford it.
That's right.
And if you look at all the boys that have come forward, straight and the minors, they all have a similar look and they all look super young, like super, super, super young. Another thing that was really kind of like a red flag for me, a lot of these boys that have come forward have stated that James came off very like almost attached and like very, what is the word? Clingy, right? And when James Charles did Instant Influencer, he did a collab with Trash Me, I think her name is. Her name's Ashley, but her handle name on YouTube. He did a collab with her where she read his birth chart. And I remember watching that video, and it really gave me some insight about James, and he talks about his dating life because they talk about his Venus placement. Your Venus placement is about relationships, love, how you love. I'm an astrology nut. So even though I wasn't a James Charles fan, when that video dropped after she won Instant Influencer, I was like, ooh, I want to watch this because I love birth chart, like knowing people's birth charts. Like I get my friends at work and people at work, I like to know their birth charts and read their birth charts. It's a fun hobby of mine. I remember watching that video and I didn't see it as a red flag before, but now with everything else, you guys, it just seems like a red flag. So in that video, he admits that he falls really hard, like he says in like 2 seconds. He explains how he is in like not even relationships, but just when he's talking to other guys. I will play that clip for you here.
Really hard, really fast, and I feel like doesn't actually truly get to know people.
Do you fall really hard, really fast?
So fast, within like 3 seconds. That's my absolute biggest downfall when it comes to dating. For me, I fall really fast and almost treat it as if it is a relationship right away because I want to know like it's gonna be compatible. I feel like I'm a very like emotional person in the sense of like I get mad very easily. I get sad really easily. Honestly, 99% of the time it's about a boy that I'm talking to going south. I would say like the biggest things that get me angry are either like if I'm talking to a guy and he's like not putting in the right effort of communication. I've had so many arguments about that.
Like you feel overextended.
And I feel like I'm putting in way too much on the scale.
To me, this is another red flag, and it just further proves to me that these boys are telling the truth when they talk about how James makes them feel uncomfortable, how he's super pushy, how he's wanting them to do these things and it makes them feel uncomfortable. You remember Sam Cooke, I believe his name was, said that he was very pushy. He was trying to convince them that they were bi.
Not only was he telling me how I felt, telling me that I was bisexual, but he was also at the same time talking to Gage. And I found this out after Gage released his video explaining his side of the story with James. And then I was just done with him. I didn't want to have anything to do with him after that, after finding out that he was kind of playing two straight guys at the same time.
Even though they were straight. Another concerning thing for me too is that during Sam Cooke's video, he showed a screenshot of him and James' first interaction through text. And James even states in the message like, oh my God, I didn't know that you were 19. So take that as you will, but I just wanted to put that in here. Even in Tati and Bai's sister, she said that he had like this obsession with straight men. Something else that I had noticed back when the No More Lies video was put out that Mysterious T had reminded me about during her live on this whole situation is that there were screenshots that James put up between him and Sam Cooke. One of the boys, the straight boys, accusing him of being inappropriate. There was a screenshot where James had sent a photo and then the kid had replied, or the man had replied saying, oh my God, so soon. I'll show you guys here. And I would really like to know what the photo was. Influencers, especially when they're trying to prove their case, will always put screenshots up on the screen as they're talking. And we do not read them most of the time. I mean, I know that I do, but a lot of people don't. They just go with whatever the influencer is saying at the time. And that can be very scary because the influencer can run any narrative they want and their proof isn't even proof. I was watching Mysterious T's live and she brought up a really great video that I hadn't even found, and it was from a former friend of James Charles before he even became famous. He made a video back when Bye Sister first dropped talking about how James Charles was when he was in high school. And James Charles' high school friend alleges that James Charles would catfish boys on the sports teams pretending to be attractive girls in exchange for their nudes.
I had a crush on a straight boy who I, for some reason, when I was younger, like swore I was gonna marry, and we were literally just friends. Like, it was the weirdest thing, but I grew from that. He definitely didn't. When he found out about the straight boy that I was friends with, that I was like in love with, and like I thought could be gay, he tried to finesse him to date him, and he
he has a straight boy fetish. Like, that's his thing. Like, he catfished a lot of Bethlehem's soccer team. And this is all, like, I don't have, like, receipts or anything because this was just so long ago, but I remember he would talk about it. He would say he would use, like, a pretty girl, like one of his friends or something, and get nudes through the girls. Like, would act like he was them to receive the nudes. Grow up. Like, who does that? Like, that's so, like, weird. That's so predatory. And honestly, it really took this whole situation with Tati happening for me to really open my eyes and say, you know what? Like, he is predatory. And I don't know why I didn't realize it sooner. I guess I just stopped caring really because we weren't really, like, friends anymore. I didn't really, like, think too much about it.
I mean, that's all alleged. This is all alleged stuff. Like, no one is guilty.
I also want to say that a lot of people are saying that, you know, gay people don't go and try to get with straight men. That's not a thing. Or lesbians don't try to get with straight women. That's not a thing. It is a thing. I used to have roommates. I lived with multiple gay men, and I would see and hear a lot of gay men at the clubs while I did the karaoke and stuff, talking about how they would get straight men drunk, or they would have money, like they would be well-off gay men, and they would say, oh, I can pay this straight man to be gay for the day. I've also heard women, lesbians, brag about hooking up with straight people. So it is a thing. I don't understand why people don't think this is a thing and don't believe that this is a thing. Just because this is a thing doesn't mean that every gay man or lesbian woman out there is like this. I'm just saying that there is this culture of this that does exist.
And I've also heard a rumor, which I don't even know is true. I'll check right now, that James is banned from is banned from Tinder because he was dressing up as a woman and trying to pretend to be a woman to get dates with straight men. While looking up if he was actually banned from Tinder for setting his profile and pretending to be a woman, I only found some news articles about it, like from like bootleg news outlets is what I call them. But I did find screenshots of him saying that James Charles saying that he never listed himself as a woman. He listed himself as androgynous, which is someone who expresses himself in both feminine and masculine ways, not a female to trick anyone. Anytime someone said they were straight, he unmatched them right away. I'm not seeing anything from Tinder saying that they deleted James Charles or banned James Charles from Tinder. So I think that is just a rumor. James has said that he deleted dating profile apps or dating apps, but why not use dating apps? It doesn't make sense to me, especially if you want to be with somebody so bad and you're craving that romantic relationship with somebody bad enough to be sending nudes to your fans. Make it make sense. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? If anyone else was doing this, everybody would go crazy.
The other really creepy thing too, and something I wanted to mention, is that when all the news came out about the Lopez brothers and the accusations against them, James Charles actually defended them, which to me is just really, really gross. I am working on a deep dive series that's going to be multiple parts talking about all of the SA and grooming and that in the entertainment fields. And trust me when I say there is a lot, you guys.
Keemstar has gone absolutely apeshit about this whole thing, which I don't blame him. And he contacted his attorney, and his attorney even said that even if James didn't know the kid was 18, it's still illegal. And I'll play that clip for you here.
I just triple checked, got off the phone with my attorney just to make sure I'm putting out the right messaging. Yeah, according to state laws, it's a crime. But also, according to federal law, the entire United States, if an adult sends nude pictures of themselves to a minor, even if that minor is lying about their age, it's a crime. It's a federal fucking crime. All right?
Smokey Glow also put out a tweet, which I totally agree with, seeing a lot of, well, they lied, it's not his fault, rhetorical, and that's untrue. As an adult with 25 million subs, messaging his fans with the intent to hook up is an abuse of power, and the fact that this has happened multiple times means it's not a mistake, it's a calculated risk. And all I have to say is, yes, Smokey Glow, go off. I agree with you 100%. Then we had this weird occurrence where somebody posted under James Charles's like apology or statement, notepad apology or statement, of course, They claim to be James Charles's manager or PR person. I'll put it on the screen for you here. I'm going to read it to you. It says, trigger warning, grooming pedophilia. I am a current member of James Charles' management team and genuinely believe that the following statement is in the public's best interest. Around 1 year ago, I witnessed James Charles and a few trusted members of his management team discuss ways to improve James's declining relevance on social media. I don't think James has been declining in relevance at all. If anything, I feel like he has been growing in relevance, but okay. It goes on to say, I heard James say that a good way to improve his relevance is to hire someone with a decent social media following to make a public allegation of grooming. It is my honest belief that the grooming story commented on by James on February 26, 2021 is a complete hoax designed and executed by James Charles. I don't believe this statement. I believe that is someone just lying. Another thing too is that we do know that James Charles is very known for pulling pranks and hoax on people, his audience, his friends. But this would be like the worst hoax to pull, and even so, him giving a minor his photos to pull a hoax is disgusting. I'm not trying to throw around any accusations here, but we know James is very good friends with Charli D'Amelio, Dixie, her sister, and other minors.
A very, very special guest.
Charli.
Charli D'Amelio! Thank you so much for being here.
Today I'm going to be shooting a YouTube video with my 2 friends and sisters.
Oh, there you go, clever.
And he's always kind of said that he's their mentor, which I could kind of jive with at first. But now that we have all these red flags going on, it kind of makes me side-eye it a little bit. Believe it or not, Trisha Paytas made a really good point when she mentioned how grooming can start as like mentoring, and you know, that's how these kind of grooming things start. And I, as someone who was groomed growing up, I can totally see that. Again, I'm not accusing James of anything, but I'm just saying I can see that narrative. I can see why people would think that, and it is extremely weird that he hangs around people that are so young, especially during his Logan Paul podcast. He mentions how he has the mentality and the mind of a 40-year-old. Well, if you have the mentality and the mind of a 40-year-old, why are you hanging around with 16-year-olds? What do you find in common with a 16-year-old? Make it make sense, you know, like make it make sense. It doesn't make sense to me.
I got to meet all the people that I've been watching for years.
Yeah.
So.
Did you just point to me?
Yeah.
Really? Wait, I don't even know that.
Yeah. I had like my Apple TV in my room where like I'd have YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'd like watch your videos like before I went to sleep.
What?
Yeah, I love like makeup. Like
okay.
I wish I was better at it. I used to do like all these cool things with like your palette.
What the heck? I didn't even know that. Charli, that's so cool.
So that's super cool.
I didn't want to hang around, you know, 16-year-olds when I was 21. That was not the way I wanted to get down. I hung out with older people when I was a teenager, but it was very toxic and very unhealthy and should have never happened. Since filming this video, there has been another person who has come forward that alleged that they had conversations with James Charles. This, again, is all alleged. So I'm going to play that stuff for you guys here so you can see it.
As you can see, he asked me for my snap right here. You guys. Anyways, I give him my snap. As you can see, he adds me right here. At this point, he messaged me right away, as you can see. So, as you guys can see, we did develop a streak. I know 3 isn't a lot, but it does show to prove that we were Snapchatting each other back and forth for a bit. And at this time, we were actually on really good terms. I did not think he was going to do anything stupid. So anyways, we started talking again at 3 in the morning, and we were snapping each other. I sent him a shirtless picture, and it was literally just me working out at home. If you know me, I literally post that shit on my story all the time. It's quite obvious that he was pressuring me into sending him photos. After doing what he said, he questioned my confidence.
Alright, so as you guys can see, he's questioning my confidence because I didn't want to send him a specific explicit photo. And I just find that very disgusting. Like, who does that to a person? Over here, I was telling him I was tired and that it was late, but he didn't seem to care, so... Obviously, me being me, I didn't want to lose the opportunity to talk to him, so I continued to do what he said. Anyways, I was getting really tired because it was super late. It was almost 4 o'clock a.m. and when I told him I wanted to sleep, he started to make me feel bad. He even asked me to video call and I said I didn't want to, but he still proceeded to call my phone. At this point, I got very, very anxious, and as you can see, I'm literally shaking in this video because I was so scared. I didn't want to do it, so I chose not to.
Kid that had come forward while I was filming this video has recently, in the last few hours, come forward with even more videos explaining his side of the story. So I wanted to play those videos for you guys here.
I've decided that I want to talk about the incident, and I'm going to tell you guys the exact full story since a lot of you guys are coming at me and you guys seem very confused, so here's the full story. So basically, when James was getting canceled for the whole Tati Westbrook and Sam Cooke situation, I decided to reach out to him via Instagram DMs. I don't vividly remember what I said to him, but I did say something like, if you need to talk to somebody since you're experiencing all this, like, you can definitely talk to me about it. I also added that I was single. Anyway, so James responds to my DMs and he goes, he's not really looking for anything, but I'm cute. So I was like, okay, cool. As a normal person would do, I was like, here's my number if you change your mind. Then he told me to send a video of me introducing myself, so I did. So right after that, he asked me for my Snapchat and I gave it to him, so he added me. So basically, we started talking on Snapchat, and it didn't seem like he had any weird intentions. Like, we were getting to know each other, and he seemed pretty genuine, and he was actually really nice. So, I'm running out of time, so I'm gonna make a part 2. I go to work for like a few hours, and I come home around 2:45 a.m. And then I realized that I forgot to respond to James' messages, so I was like, oh fuck. So I messaged him, we're having a conversation on Snap, and he starts getting a little flirty, and I was like, let's just take it slow, but obviously he didn't want. Anyways, he goes, send me a shirtless picture, and I was like, okay, whatever, I don't care, because I post that shit on my story, you know? So then he starts going, oh, send me pictures of your boxers, show me what you're wearing. And then he goes, let me see your armpits, and I was like, what? I didn't want to lose the opportunity to talk to him, so I just did what he said because, like, I was still shocked that he messaged me, you know? So anyways, he screenshots a photo that I sent him, and I was like, yo, why the fuck are you screenshotting my shit? And he goes, oh, it's not like I'm gonna do anything with it. And I'm like, if you're not gonna do anything with it, why are you screenshotting it?
I also want to bring up the fact that a lot of people are trying to say that Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson are vindicated because of this stuff with James Charles coming out. I don't believe that Jeffree Star or Shane Dawson have anything to do with this James Charles thing. In my opinion, Jeffree Star has used that voice memo that he has as like a tool to kind of like say, ooh, I have this. On everyone, and they know to keep their mouth shut. And I feel like Jeffree Star is just a toxic person all around. And then with Shane Dawson, I have no idea what Shane Dawson would have to do with this, but this is just my opinion. You guys can let me know how you feel. And I will say that I did see a lot of people giving this kid, Isaiah, a lot of crap and coming for him. The whole thing is that these poor kids have to live with this the rest of their lives. I don't think they're doing it for clout, in my opinion. Even though sadly some people do this type of stuff for clout, I feel like we should always believe the victim. You know, like, I don't know. I'm so frustrated that people are still defending James Charles when it comes to this. And I mean, even in his video with Ashley, the winner of Instant Influencer, there's a clip where he's literally getting a message from a boy he's talking to saying, why'd you block me?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Venus and Cancer is a mess.
He just texted me like, why'd you block me?
Is that what he said?
Right now,
you know why I blocked you. He knows why you blocked him. He knows why he's blocked.
Which is what seems to be the infamous thing that James does, allegedly, when he doesn't get his way from these boys. So, you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? It's kind of like, But I would love to know how you guys feel, what your thoughts are about this. I don't know, like, it's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. And I just really hope that these boys can get therapy, they can get help, and, you know, again, people need to go to the authorities with this kind of stuff, not run to social media. The other thing, too, is that these children, like, they see their favorite influencers, and with James having this reputation, you're going to have stans thinking, oh, all I need to do is send my nudes and I'll get attention from my favorite. And that is normalizing this for kids with their favorite influencers. And that is not okay. That is not okay. If that ever happens, as an influencer, we should be blocking them. We should be blocking them, especially when James knows that he has such a young audience. Like, he's not dumb. He hangs around teenagers. He knows. He's been to meet and greets. He sees the people that buy his products. They're children. They're literal children. So he should know better than to just send nudes to a fan. In general, point blank, period. Now, a lot of people are saying that he needs to be banned from TikTok. He needs to be deplatformed. I say everyone is innocent until proven guilty, but I can see the whole TikTok thing because that seems to be where he is finding boys. And the other thing too is he seems to use Snapchat a lot. I don't like Snapchat. I haven't used Snapchat in like 4 years, but from what I can remember is that things disappear and you can see when somebody screenshots your stuff. So that to me is really gross that he's trying to use Snapchat to have these conversations with these straight boys or these minor boys, allegedly. But again, I would love to know how you guys feel. Are you guys a James Charles fan? Did this video open up any eyes for you as far as some of the clips that I've played you? I'm sure there's more clips out there. I do know Miss Serious T is going to be coming out with a video as well, and I'm pretty sure she will probably have even more stuff than I have found in her video because she's just so great at doing research. But yeah, I don't know. Oh my gosh, it's just so crazy to me. But if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, or you can give it a thumbs down. It's all gravy, baby. At the end of the day, it's all engagement. I also would really like to know how the audio sounded throughout this video. Hopefully I don't have to refilm it. Fingers freaking crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, any input on that would be wonderful. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. Bye!
We melted the glue off with the amount of Fix Plus that he just used, but it's okay. We love hot boys here on the James Charles YouTube. For Daddy, come here. Would you like to be in my video? Hello.
How you going?
I'm amazing now. How are you? Oh, all that muscle and he still had a hard time getting my lash glue open. And people say beauty isn't hard. I love straight people.